The wind on Halberd's Edge never stopped. It blew across the ice-covered rocks and sharp hills, carrying the sound of silence. There were no cities here, no lights, no peace. Only cold steel shelters, and the people who had been forgotten by the world. Logan Price stood on a ridge, looking out across the frozen land. He wore a thick coat made of old armor and cloth. His eyes were sharp, but there was a deep sadness behind them. He had been a soldier once, a leader, a weapon made by the government to win wars. But when the wars ended, they called him unstable. They sent him here to die. Down below, fires burned low in the camp. Men and women moved between the shelters, faces hard, eyes tired. They were all like Logan, built for battle, then cast aside. Some were broken, some were angry, all of them were dangerous. Monroe climbed the hill behind Logan. Her boots crunched the ice as she came closer. She had short dark hair, scars on her hands, and a cold look in her eyes. She used to plan missions that saved thousands. Now she hunted for fuel and water. "We're running low again," Eva said. "If the storm gets worse, we won't last another week." Logan didn't move. "We'll last. We always do." Eva shook her head. "Maybe we're just waiting to die." Before Logan could answer, the sky above them changed. A deep sound filled the air, and a shadow moved across the clouds. A ship was coming. Not a cargo ship. Not a scout. A warship. The camp exploded with movement. Soldiers ran to grab weapons. Sirens howled through the cold wind. Logan and Eva rushed down the hill. The ship landed on a clear ridge. It was old but strong. Its engines hissed as the doors opened. Armed soldiers stepped out. They wore the symbol of the Earth Defense Command. Behind them came a tall man with gray hair and a rough beard. His name was Captain Joel Whitaker. Logan stepped forward, gun in hand. "We don't take orders anymore. Not here to give orders," the captain said. "I'm here with a choice." Eva crossed her arms. "Speak fast. Earth is falling," Whitaker said. "A queen is building her own empire. She's taken half the colonies. We don't have enough soldiers left to stop her. We need warriors, the ones we threw away." The camp fell silent. "You want us to save the same people who left us here?" Logan asked. "No," the captain said. "I want you to fight for something real. For each other. For a future." Logan looked around at the tired faces of his people. Some looked ready to fight again. Others looked afraid. He turned to Eva. She gave a small nod. "We'll go," Logan said. "But not for your war. For ours." The engines roared again. The doors closed, and the forgotten warriors rose to take their place in the fire once more. The engines of the warship Silver Rain hummed through the metal floors. Inside, the soldiers of the fallen line stood in silence, watching the stars pass by through thick glass windows. For many of them, it was the first time in years they had left the cold prison of Halberd's Edge. Some felt hope, others felt anger. None of them trusted what was coming. Logan sat in the training room, his back against the wall, cleaning his knife. Across from him, Eva ran combat drills with two younger soldiers. She moved fast, striking low, blocking hits, and taking down both men in seconds. She stood straight, not even breathing hard. Captain Joel Whitaker stepped into the room with a rough voice. "We have a target," he said. "Delphus 9, a loyalist planet under siege." Logan stood. "What are we walking into?" "Chaos," the captain said.
"Hey, the Queen's forces have already taken the capital. The local militia is falling apart. They're killing civilians now. If we don't stop them, there won't be anything left."
Eva looked at him. "What do you need us to do?" "Land behind their main lines. Hit them hard. Break their command post. Make them bleed." Hours later, the dropships screamed through the clouds of Delphus 9. Fire filled the sky. Buildings burned in the distance. The ground was full of smoke and broken roads. As the doors opened, Logan shouted, "Move now!" The fallen line hit the ground like thunder. They spread fast, cutting through ruined streets, smashing into enemy positions. The enemy wore black armor and moved like machines, but they were not ready for what hit them. Logan led from the front, his blade in hand, cutting through two soldiers in seconds. Gunfire cracked all around. Eva took cover behind a broken wall, marked targets with her visor, then led her team through a side alley. They moved fast and struck faster. In one moment, they cleared a courtyard filled with enemies. In the next, they were inside the command post. Inside, they found maps, weapons, and bodies. Eva threw a grenade down a hallway and kicked the door in. Behind her, a soldier named Ryan Carter followed, firing as he moved. Logan took the upper floor, stabbing 2 officers who tried to run. Suddenly, the walls shook. A rocket hit the side of the building. Fire poured through the windows. The ceiling cracked and fell. Eva shouted for her team to fall back, but Ryan was pinned under debris. "I can't move," he said, his voice shaking. Eva ran to him, lifted the stone off his legs with all her strength, and dragged him to cover. He was bleeding, his face pale. "You saved me," he whispered. "You're not dying here," Eva said. "I think I already did," he said, then closed his eyes. Eva screamed for a medic, but it was too late. The fight raged outside. The fallen line pushed forward, breaking the enemy's back line, clearing the last stronghold. Bodies covered the streets. Fires burned high. The sky above them turned black. When it was over, the soldiers stood in silence. They had won, but the price was high. Logan walked through the rubble and found Eva sitting beside Ryan's body. "He died believing we were doing the right thing," she said. "Then we are," Logan answered. The captain's voice came through the comms. "The planet is secure. Good work. Prepare to move. The Queen will not stop here." Logan looked at the smoke rising in the distance. "Neither will we," he said. And as the sun rose over the broken city, the fallen line knew they were warriors once again. Not because someone gave them orders, but because they chose to be. The silver rain moved through space like a knife cutting through darkness. Inside the ship, the air was heavy. The victory on Delphus 9 was behind them, but the pain stayed. Eva had not spoken much since Ryan died. Logan noticed the change. She trained harder, slept less, and stayed away from the others. Logan stood on the bridge with Captain Joel Whitaker. The older man handed him a tablet with the next mission. "The Queen's top general is moving towards Sable Reach," the captain said. "We think he knows about your team. He's hunting you." Logan looked at the screen. "Then we hunt him first." But it was not that simple. The enemy moved fast. By the time the fallen line reached Sable Reach, the colony was already burning. Enemy dropships flew overhead. Fires spread through the streets. Civilians ran for shelter. "Get us down now," Logan ordered. The ship landed in a narrow alley. Soldiers rushed out, weapons ready. Eva took her squad and pushed toward the west side of the colony. Logan went east. They moved like fire through the ruins, clearing out enemy fighters 1 block at a time. Gunfire echoed through the broken city. Logan ducked behind a wrecked car, returned fire, and dropped 2 enemies. One of his men, Harper Grant, threw a grenade into a building. The explosion shook the street. "They're everywhere," Harper said. "Then we fight everywhere," Logan replied. At the same time, Eva and her team fought through a supply station. Bullets flew past her head. She slid under a beam, shot 2 soldiers, then climbed to the 2nd floor. From above, she saw enemy troops moving in patterns too perfect for regular soldiers. "They're trained well," she said to her team. "This isn't a normal unit." Then she saw him. A tall man in black armor stood on a rooftop across the street. His face was calm, his eyes cold. It was General Gideon Marr, the Queen's most trusted blade. He raised a hand, and a rocket slammed into the building where Eva stood. She fell with the floor, crashing into rubble. Her head spun. Dust filled her lungs. Her gun was gone. Before she could move, hands grabbed her. She was pulled out of the wreck and dragged into a transport. Door slammed shut. The engine roared. The mission had turned into a trap. Back in the east, Logan heard the call over the comms. "Ava's gone. They took her." The words hit him harder than any bullet where he asked, "They're leaving the city now. She's on one of the transports." Logan's eyes burned with rage. "Harper, get the bike." He jumped onto a stolen enemy hover bike and shot out of the alley, chasing the transport. The road was full of fire and smoke. Bullets hit the ground beside him. He dodged, fired his rifle, and pushed the bike faster. He caught up with the transport as it reached the edge of the city. Soldiers fired down at him. He jumped from the bike, onto the side of the transport, grabbed the edge, and climbed up. He reached the roof, shot 2 guards, and forced the door open. But Eva was not inside. A message waited. A voice recording played. She is not dead, but she will learn who we really are. Then the screen went dark. The transport exploded. Logan was thrown back, hitting the ground hard. Pain shot through his arm, but he stood up. The rest of the team reached him minutes later. Blood covered his face. "I took her," he said. "They're not trying to win the war. They're trying to break us." And as the fires of Sable Reach burned behind them, Logan made a promise. He would not stop. He would not rest. He would bring her back no matter the cost. The moon of Corinth Vale was dry and cracked. Dust storms moved across the empty ground, and smoke from broken ships filled the sky. The Queen's army had built a stronghold here, protected by heavy guns and steel walls. This was where she kept her secrets. This was where Eva was held. Inside a dark chamber under the fortress, Eva sat chained to a steel chair. Her arms were bruised, her face cut. A tall woman stepped into the room wearing dark armor and a golden crown. Her eyes were sharp, her voice calm. "I am Queen Alira," she said. "You're not my prisoner, you're my guest." Eva looked at her without fear. "Then why the chains?" "You will understand soon," the Queen said. "You were built for war, like me. You were thrown away, like me. But I did not wait for mercy. I built my own army. You can do the same." Eva stayed silent. Her thoughts were on Logan. She knew he would come. He always did. Far above, in orbit, the silver rain prepared for battle. Logan stood in the war room with Captain Whitaker and the rest of the fallen line. The map showed the fortress, the guards, and the storm of weapons that waited below. "This is a trap," Harper said. "They want us to come. We're coming anyway," Logan said. "We hit them hard, fast. No second chances." The ship dropped into the sky, dodging enemy fire. Drop pods launched from its belly, crashing into the moon's surface. The fallen line charged out, weapons ready. Gunfire lit the air. Explosions shook the ground. The Queen's soldiers fought with skill, but they were not ready for the rage of Logan's team. He moved through the dust like a ghost, cutting through every man in his path. Beside him, Harper threw grenades into towers, bringing them down one by one. Inside the fortress, the Queen watched the fight on a screen. She turned to Eva. "You see now," she said. "They will destroy everything to get you back. They are loyal." "That is rare." Eva pulled at her chains. "You're scared of him. I respect him," the Queen said. "He is strong, but strength alone will not save him." The door burst open. 2 guards flew back, dead before they hit the floor.
Ow.
Logan stepped in, covered in blood and dust. "Let her go," he said. The Queen smiled. "I hoped you would come." She pulled a blade from her side and threw off her cloak. Logan charged. Their blades clashed, metal ringing through the room. The Queen was fast and sharp. Logan was faster than her side, but she kept coming. Eva kicked her chains, breaking free just as the Queen threw Logan against the wall. Eva picked up a fallen weapon and fired once. The Queen dropped to one knee. Logan stood, grabbed his blade, and rushed forward. The fight was fast and brutal. Logan drove his blade into her chest. She fell back, blood pouring from her mouth. "This is not the end," she said. "It is for you," Logan said. "Eh?" The Queen fell, her crown rolling across the floor. Logan helped Eva to her feet. Her hands shook, but her eyes were clear. "I knew you would come," she said. "I always will," he answered. Outside, the last enemy forces began to fall. The fortress burned behind them. The fallen line had won. Captain Whitaker's voice came through the comm. "The Queen is down. The moon is ours." Logan and Eva walked out together. For the first time in years, the stars felt close again. They had faced death. They had won, and the war was not over yet. The sky above Varelia was dark and full of fire. The Queen's last fortress stood on the shattered moon, hidden inside deep canyons and guarded by thick steel walls. All across the surface, her remaining soldiers waited with heavy weapons. This was her final stand. If she fell here, the war would end. The silver rain hovered above the moon, ready to strike. Inside the ship, the fallen line stood in silence. Some were checking weapons. Others were saying nothing, just thinking about everything they had lost. The air was thick with anger and purpose. Logan stood in front of them. "This is it," he said. "She killed our people, burned our homes, took Eva, took Ryan, took everything we were. Now we take everything back. The dropships launched, cutting through smoke and falling into the canyons. Anti-air guns fired from below. One dropship exploded, another spun out and crashed, but the others landed hard, and the fallen line rushed out with fire in their hearts. Logan hit the ground first, leading a squad straight into the main gate. Bullets screamed past him. He fired back, took down 2 guards, then kicked through the broken wall. Inside the canyon, the enemy fought like wild dogs, but the fallen line was not like other soldiers. They were built to kill, and they moved without fear. Eva led the second squad through the side tunnels. She threw smoke bombs, moved through shadows, and struck like lightning. Her team took control of the upper wall and rained fire down on the courtyard below. Her face was covered in dirt and blood, but her eyes stayed sharp. Inside the fortress, Queen Alira waited in her throne room. She wore black armor with red marks and held a long blade in her hands. Her guards stood around her, ready to die for her. Logan and Eva broke through the last gate together. Behind them, the sounds of battle filled the halls. Fire burned through every corner, smoke climbed the walls. They entered the throne room without fear. The queen stood and stepped down the stairs. Her blade pointed at Logan. "You came again," she said. "This time to end it," he answered. The fight was fast. Blades clashed. Sparks flew. The queen was strong, but Logan was stronger now. He had nothing left to fear. Every strike was heavy, every move full of rage. Eva fought the guards beside him, moving with speed and fire. The room shook with the sounds of war. The queen stabbed Logan in the side. He dropped to one knee. But then he grabbed her arm, pulled her close, and drove his blade through her chest. She gasped, dropped her weapon, and fell to the floor. "You were right about one thing," Logan said. "We were made for war. But we chose what to fight for." The queen tried to speak, but no words came. She died there in silence. The guards surrendered. The fortress fell. All across the moon, the enemy dropped their weapons. The war was over. Back on the Silver Rain, the fallen line stood on the deck and watched the stars. Some of them smiled, others cried. They had won, but the price was burned into their hearts. Captain Whitaker stepped beside Logan. "You saved more than just planets," he said. "You gave us a reason to fight again." Logan looked at Eva. She nodded. "We fight for the ones who never got the chance," she said. And as the ship turned toward Earth, the stars no longer seemed far away. The soldiers who were once thrown away had returned stronger. They were not broken. They were not lost. They were the line that would never fall again.